Okay, we're live, everybody.
We're live, everybody. Welcome. Race war. MAGA stole the election. It's Brian McCarthy.
Jesus Christ.
That was quite the lead-in.
Wow.
I know. By the way, just off the top,
Yeah.
you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Like, it's honestly.
Yeah,
the-
right? Buttery.
I would say mellifluous, perhaps.
Great posture, too,
Oh,
by
yeah,
the way.
the
Look at this kid's posture.
Kid shot out of a cannon.
Oh,
I
I'm
know.
I'm a professional.
The dulcet tones of
Yeah.
small hands.
It's like he went to a finishing school.
Yeah, welcome.
He should have a book on his head.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Posture.
that intro for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I know your voice is great because it's not a. Some people have a very reedy, and I will say this: you didn't put this voice on. You came into the house and you're like, I need to
Came
take
in
a,
with the voice.
I need to take a piss. Can
It's
I?
what I call my on-air voice.
No, but you
Okay.
had it on before the air.
Yeah, you had
like
it
I'm
on.
saying, like you.
Well, for me, once I walked in the door, I'm kind of on there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
And also, what a lot of people, some people, fans of mine know, but what some people don't know is
ahead.
before I was ever an actor in porn, I still am a singer. I was a singer in bands, so
Okay.
I know a little bit about the warming up the vocals.
Okay, I got you.
Projecting, all that fun stuff.
Well, it's something that you can't take for granted because some people don't have a good voice no matter what they do.
I don't take it for granted.
So do we? Okay, because do I use small hands?
You can call me Aaron. That's,
I can call you
that's
Aaron.
My,
Okay,
my
good.
Birth,
I wasn't-
my birth name,
Right,
and
your
I
birth-
like Aaron. Aaron's a cool name.
Yeah.
Small Hands is not a cool name.
No, but I got it. Okay, so let's get a couple things out of the way at the top. So I don't know how much Joanna told you, but I worked in adult.
She did. She said you were a director.
in a-
And producer.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much. And fluffer, but you know what?
Fair
that
enough.
was the 80s,
That
and
was
I
the
had
80s.
a rocking freebase addiction. So, but no. So what I did was I produced and directed like girl content for pay-per-view television. I worked with Evan Seinfeld. I did Tara's first thing for pay-per-view.
Oh, okay, for TerraVision, was it? Or
It was like, honestly, it was at the remember how Rome fell in 476 AD.
I've read the stories.
Yes,
yeah.
it was like I worked in Rome in 475 and a half. So it was like Evan and Tara were like in the middle of something. They were not. I did their only pay-per-view special, and so anyway, but that's how I met a lot of the female talent. But
Cool.
I used to use a Barrett Blade, who
Oh,
you
I know
may or-
Barrett.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
So-
directed me in many films.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
So, but Barrett almost he almost punched the shit out of me because we were working, and I made a joke about something. I don't even remember making
No,
the joke.
I remember. This is one of my favorite things because I think you made fun of him because he was drinking a Crystal Light.
Well, that was another thing. Yeah. So
that wasn't when he
Fair
almost
game.
punched you.
I used
Because
to
that
t-
would be the funniest
Yes.
thing to punch somebody over.
Well, he came to my house the first time we ever met, and he was like in his this is also about 13 years
He
ago.
was kind of a stud, right?
He was in his
Kind
porn
of.
guy gimmick, which you're not rocking, Ed Hardy, chain belt, he kind of.
He still looks like that. I mean,
does,
that's just
yes.
that's
It's
his
his-
style. That's
yes.
his
Still have
personal
frosted
style.
tips?
But it's also
think so.
yeah,
Yeah?
what's
I should
left
hope.
of it. But yeah, but it's a look.
It's like a rocker look.
yes, it's like a guy who
Chain wallet?
Yes, 100%. Yes,
Barrett was in a band too, though. He was
Yes.
in
Oh.
like a major label band.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he was in Kajagoogoo.
I'm
which
not
people don't
familiar
know.
with his oeuvre.
I think
Go ahead, really.
Google
Okay.
his band.
I'm gonna
but
look it up
they
in a
were-
second.
They had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one single anyway.
Yeah, I believe it. All that
So
stuff.
the rocker thing fits.
100%. But he came to my house
100%.
and he kind of was like but he had in his hand a plastic bottle, like a water bottle, and it was red liquid in it. And I
Okay.
was like, "Hey, what is that? What are you drinking?" And he goes, "Crystal Light." And I just thought it was funny because he looked like such a
Right,
guy.
like
and I was like, "Oh, do you believe in you? Look at you, Crystal Light. That's really
like
said-
mixed
I
with
love it.
whiskey. What?
yeah. Are you on
I
your way?
love
Are you
it.
coming from a Pilates class? You fruit. But anyway, but my point is, he took himself very seriously. And what's nice about you and Joanna, because I don't know you, but I knew Joanna, and you guys are
We're kindred souls.
You're 100%. But you guys are also pleasant, and you don't take yourselves seriously, which I really because that's
With
exhausting.
a name like Small Hands, how serious could I fucking take myself?
And the way that you got that name, as I understand, is that she was directing you.
Correct.
You were talent, and it was.
I wasn't talent yet.
Okay.
I was just her boyfriend.
Oh.
For the first 2 years
All
of me
right.
and Joanna's relationship, I was still in a band. I was touring. I was playing shows, and I was
What was
just
the
her
name of the
boyfriend.
band?
That band was called Phoenix TX. It was like a pop punk, like Warp
Okay.
Tour era band.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
And I
Yeah.
played bass for them. And this is back in like 2012, 2013-ish. And at some point, a couple years into the relationship, I still lived in San Diego. She lived in L.A. She said, well, come on, man. Are we taking this relationship to the next level? I
Right.
said, yes, of course. She said, it's time to move in with me. So I move up to L.A.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, the band I was in was kind of fizzling. And I didn't have a lot of work going on.
Sure.
And she's like, well, until you join up with another band, why don't you help out the family business and hop in for just just for a movie or two that I'm directing.
It'd be funny.
Free labor for my wife.
It'd be funny if you were like, I don't know what you do. Is it like a farmer's market?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not, I don't
No,
know. Joanna, what do you do actually?
I'd be selling jams and jellies.
I had been coming to set
So to speak.
as a PA.
Oh.
No, but early on when I was just her boyfriend, I would come to set and I'd basically be a PA. I'd do paperwork. I'd make fucking tacos for everyone at lunch. I'd mop up jizz sometimes.
Can I pull this story
Great.
all the way back for a
Yes,
minute?
yes.
How did you first meet?
So we first met when I was in San Diego playing in a band, bartending, doing that whole lifestyle thing.
Yes.
And then I'm kind of a workaholic. I also owned a merchandise printing company.
Okay, sure.
So I made my own band's merchandise.
Okay.
I made other bands'
Okay.
merch. And Joanna Angel was a client of mine. That's how it all started.
There
Was
you go.
Nice.
She started placing orders for her production company, Burning Angel, for the merchandise section of their website.
Okay.
T-shirts that said blowjob, anal,
Uh-huh.
really like
yeah,
raunchy,
yeah.
funny things. And we had like a poster of her on the warehouse wall. We were all fans.
Sure,
Everyone there
of
was
course.
like, yeah, hell yeah, we're
Nice.
making Joanna Angel shit. And at some point, there was a male performer who's not in the game anymore, but he went by Brian's Street Team, and Joanna used to hire him a lot. He was from San Diego. He knew me through the music scene. This male performer, Brian's Street Team, kind of set us up on a blind date, basically.
Okay.
Is how fast forward. And then,
As blind as it could be when you have the
Well,
lady's poster up.
I mean,
baby.
I knew very much who she
Oh,
was. She
that's
had
what I'm-
no
right,
idea.
right.
She
Yeah,
had no
she didn't
idea
know
who
what
I
your
was.
deal
He
was.
kind of brought you to the place where he knew she would be, that kind of thing.
Well,
like
he kind of said to her, "Hey, she was bitching about her last relationship to him."
Yeah.
and he's like, "I know this cool guy, Aaron, that I think you'd vibe with." And I was kind of complaining about my last relationship. To him. And
Sure.
he goes, "Man, you know what? You should hang out with Joanna." And he sort of he got us to like text each other a little bit.
Right.
We had a lunch date in the valley,
okay.
in Van Nuys.
Okay.
And
Beautiful.
we talked about music for about 5 hours on a Sunday, and that was it. We've been together ever
The
since.
rest is
Okay.
history.
I gotcha.
For these
Okay.
kids.
But now we're gonna move forward.
But for 2
Small-
years, I was just your boyfriend. I was not a porn star. I wasn't in
Yeah.
front of the camera. My clothes were on. I was just
Right.
the guy who was her boyfriend.
So you would run around with like 2257s and that kind
yeah,
of thing.
I'd do
and-
paperwork.
Okay, I
I'd
gotcha.
help hold the boom if there was
yeah.
there was
Yeah.
a need for that.
Yeah,
I've done it all except directing.
Yeah.
Well, so how did you now? Oh, hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
How did you come back to Small Hands? Like, how did they? Okay.
So I'm signing paperwork for my first scene.
Yep.
And it's the first time with the crew, everything. I'm nervous as fuck because I never really wanted to be a male performer. It wasn't in my list of things.
The business came to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And being on set for a couple years, I saw how it worked, and I really didn't want to be a male performer because it's a
a
wild
job, man.
job
Right.
for all talent. But just the pressure, the stress. I've seen everybody at their best. I've seen them at their very worst, and how
Yes.
humiliating that can be. And so I was nervous. I was
Yes.
super nervous.
Yes.
I'm filling out the paperwork, which, funny enough, I'd always been handing it out, but I'm like, now I'm doing it.
Right.
And it said stage name, and I was so nervous, I hadn't even thought of
Okay.
anything.
So great.
And I just put Aaron, and she goes, "No, you can't put just your real name. You got to."
Right.
She goes, and I remember that she goes, "Don't worry, this isn't like going anywhere.
Oh,
like
that's
like
so
you're
funny.
not
Yeah.
gonna have a career.
Right,
just
right,
put
right.
anything down." And I do have
Sure.
small hands.
Okay, yeah,
I wear a
yeah.
size 8 shoe. I have
Okay,
small feet.
yeah,
Most
yeah,
people
yeah.
think that means you got a small dick.
We'll get to
which,
that.
which I do not.
Sure.
And so I just honestly, because it was my first time, I pictured honestly in my mind like a 1930s baseball player. Oh,
Yeah, sure.
the announcer's
Small
like
hand.
small
Yeah,
hands
have
up to
another
the
thing.
plate to
Right.
take a swing.
Right,
Let's
right,
see what he's
right.
got.
Here we go,
And
right.
that's honestly the image in my mind, and I just wrote small hands and said, "Fuck it." And here we are. 10
here we
years
are.
later.
That's so great.
But at no point you couldn't like declare a different major or something, or
there was one Wicked Pictures tried to force me to change my stage name.
to tiny fist.
Because once I started
Teeny fingers.
to grow in my career,
Sure.
and
Pun
other
intended.
studios, other directors were starting to sniff around. Hey, what's this guy with all the tattoos? We want to hire him. And female talent started requesting me.
Sure.
The person actually to give me my first big break in mainstream porn was Stormy Daniels.
Married to Barrett.
She had been and married to Barrett.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so she had been friends of ours for a while, and she'd always kind of would flirt with me when she would get drunk and
Sure.
tell Joanna like, when are you gonna let Aaron really like come out to the big kids table? Da da da. And
Really spread his
And at
wings.
some point, she said it. Look to Joanna. She said, of course not to me. It's just the wives talking.
Sure.
She said, look, I wrote this feature, like it's like a 80-page script, big budget, wicked pictures feature, and it's the star is a singer of a band, and she's like, it's got to be Aaron.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Right.
And Joanna was like, yeah, all right, time to go make some money out there. And actually, 'cause
Sure.
prior to this, I had never been paid for porn. I had done porn for like 2 years for my.
Jesus.
For,
You were getting
right.
for,
pimp-
I mean,
you were getting
know what I mean, like
Yeah.
in a literal sense. I had
Room and board,
I
if
had
you know
never
what I'm
been
saying.
written a check.
You were getting
Yeah.
pimped out by your wife for your big cock and small
and
hands.
to Stormy Daniels.
And so Joanna and Stormy start talking, and then Joanna's like, you know what? Yeah, like here, take it.
That's
Go
great.
go out and make some money, dude.
Jesus, Joanna's like your Colonel Tom Parker.
Give me a little pat on the tush.
It's,
and
it's,
set you
it's
up
funny
to-
because me and Joanna have a sort of life manager, business manager who's behind the scenes, who's been with us forever. He used to own Burning Angel with Joanna, and I call him the Colonel.
The
Yeah,
Colonel,
I
right?
call him the Colonel.
That's really funny.
Bernie. It's too bad his name's not Bernie.
Great cappuccino, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Great
Thank you. It's
cappuccino.
Yeah.
4 shots in there, so I figure.
Whoa.
I know. Let's get crazy, guys.
go to the
Whoa.
moon,
all
baby.
all I have left. I'm on Ozempic. I don't eat. I don't drink anymore. I just
Right.
like making cappuccino for big
The
dick
champion's
guys.
diet.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I've got. All right. So here we are now.
we are.
Here we are. Now, when you say you were seeing other performers nervous on set, it's funny because when I was making, and I always consider what I did was kind of like porn light. I mean, we shot wide. It was, triple X or whatever, but there was no guys really. Male talent would
right.
direct and hold mics and that kind of thing, but
right.
no real male talent.
No
was-
dick swinging.
no, Ron Jeremy once, but he wasn't ever naked. But that's another thing. But yeah, but we would have suitcase pimps,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, yeah.
Which,
Oh,
by the
yeah.
way, am I right in saying that there's a band called Suitcase Pimps?
Is there? It wouldn't surprise
I mean, there's
me.
I mean,
sneaker
there-
pimps.
There had to have been.
but I
Now,
don't know about suitcase. Well, let me look it up.
for those of you who are
Yeah, tell everyone what a suitcase pimp is.
watching
Watch,
it-
I find out that was Barrett Blade's band. It's actually Dial 7.
That's what it was.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Be Crystal Light and the Lighters.
we all just disappear into a black hole.
So, suitcase pimps are, if you're listening or watching, a suitcase pimp is someone who comes with their girlfriend or wife or whomever it is on set, and the idea is they are allowed to be on set, but they have to stay by the rolling luggage and kind of not walk around the set. And at the end of the shoot, typically I would pay or someone would give the check to them and not the female talent. Now, do I have that right in your?
That's funny because my definition of it has been a little different.
Okay.
I see where the name comes from. though.
Okay, fair enough.
To me, it was always basically like a boyfriend who wanted to control the relationship.
Very good.
Made no money in the relationship.
Okay.
Basically was living rent free, eating out of the girl's income, but wanted to
Yeah.
be the manager,
Okay.
and would dictate like what male talent they could work with, whatnot.
Okay.
They would always try to come to set. Joanna had a very strict no boyfriend rule on
And
set.
there's a good
so
reason for
she
that.
would make them sometimes just sit in the car out on the street. She's like, well, you can do that. And just in general, kind of a loser who is a parasite off the female talent.
Yeah, I think my definition is more of a very literal definition.
Right. Well, I think that's probably where it started.
Yes,
Was that?
Yes, exactly. And the only time that I had a real experience with that is, because my stuff was always girl. So, and to kind of go on a brief tangent, like I would always have friends of mine because I lived in Westlake Village, just like you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had buddies, and I would have friends of mine that weren't in the industry, and they would go, "I gotta come to this set," because they thought I'd show up and just get my cock sucked all day, and go do a line in the bathroom and come out and maybe
Right.
eat a
Like
little
boogie
pussy.
nights.
And, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you guys, like we don't have a lighting kit. You're losing. It's like it's a job.
Right.
So I would say,
We need
I'm
natural
gonna,
light.
I'm paying you. I'm gonna pay $200. You're gonna come within an hour. You're gonna want to leave. Like I promise you, it's not what you think. So I would sometimes, like a lot of people in porn, present company excluded, but they have lives that are like they may two people that maybe share a car or something like that. And so I would try to be very accommodating of the girls because also my stuff would be $800 to $1,200 for a whole day. So I would kind of like I would always. always used OC modeling, the McCarthy girl, and for as the agent and that kind of thing. So one time we had a guy show up, and this couple had come in, and I swear to God, she was very young, 11. No, she was like 18 years old, and they were from like Indiana or Ohio or somewhere, and I think they may have been living out of their car. I mean, I sound like I just remember going out to their car, and it was like full of like shit.
Right.
And they were, because when you're doing girl
like appliances.
Yeah, exactly. A 6-burner Viking, actually.
It was full of shit like their family.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Right. There were 7 Filipinos living in the glove compartment. But they.
And this was a car parked at set. Like
Yeah,
right
yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
They were like parked on this street, and when you can maybe when people start doing porn, except for you, but when females, typically you start like solo, girl, maybe boy, girl, and from there it kind of gets into whatever you're comfortable
grows
doing.
from there.
Exactly. So when you're doing girl, you typically get people that are new in the industry, which is fine, So
Okay, I see what you're
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
So this girl was brand new in the industry. She comes in, and her boyfriend, and he comes in, and he was not thrilled about any of this, and he was nervous. And so I said to the guy, I said,
acting
"Look,
weird."
I said, look, do me a favor. I understand, like, this is her first time ever. I said, why don't you sit over here by the. I didn't want to be like, hey, you're a suitcase, man. He didn't know. He was a young guy. I said, look, just sit over by the luggage, hang out. It's gonna be fine. So the first scene we're shooting, it's like 2 girls. It's no big deal. And he comes over and he starts talking to her, and he's like, listen, he's like
in the middle of the scene.
oh yeah, in the middle of the scene,
Honey,
yeah, and he's like,
The
listen,
audacity.
I changed my mind.
yes, I
Honey,
know, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
going back to
And this is just
Indianapolis.
girls?
Yeah, I know. He was
Right.
there was a lot going on with these two.
on, bro.
Yeah. And he's like coming over, and he's like, listen, he's like, we don't have to do this, that kind of thing. So I took him aside, and I was like, listen, that was strike 1, 2, and 3. I'm like, I got you. I need you to go out to your car. And he was like so upset. And I go, all right, listen. I said,
Wow.
we're going to have Blimpie later. And he goes, Blimpie? And I said, all right, go out to your car.
Sandwiches.
So, yeah, exactly. So that's what.
Blimpie is a good sandwich.
I mean, for LA,
It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
For LA, it's about as good as it gets. Now, you're from San Diego.
Yeah.
Can you? I had my girlfriend for 3 years, was from San Diego, and she danced out there, but I never went to a club. Is it true in San Diego the strip clubs are incredibly strict because of the naval base? Have you been to a strip club?
Oh, yeah. Many. I also dated a girl who used to strip, but I think it was the Hustler Club San Diego.
Okay.
Many moons ago.
Okay.
And they are strict. They're extremely strict. I don't know if it's because of the naval base.
That's what I heard.
But that would probably make sense.
Oh, those sailor boys.
Because
running
there's a
around.
huge, San Diego's a military town.
Yes.
Largely.
Yeah.
So a lot
Yeah.
of the strip clubs are filled with,
Yes.
military
Yeah.
personnel. And so
I call them heroes, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you
your
very much.
service.
right, exactly. Semper Right.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that tracks.
I will tell
would
you,
believe it.
and what she would tell me is if, like, for example, if you're doing let's say you get like a dance, there's an actual designated area where the guy has to stand and the girl dances. Yeah, they really
I've
have
heard
it.
it's that way in like Massachusetts too. Certain states are
certain
that
states
way.
So you can't
yeah.
even touch at all? Is that?
Yeah, because I think I had a buddy that had a bachelor party in Boston, and they were like, "Oh boy,
you can't
this
touch
was."
her. Get away from her.
They were
What
like,
are you?
"This was an oversight."
Right, yeah.
It was
I feel
apparently
like it's
really bad.
different rules state to state.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
I've
We gotta
been
federalize
I've been on
this.
a lot of feature dancing trips with Joanna.
Right.
And because I love strip clubs.
Sure, me
But-
too.
Yeah.
So I've been in like strip clubs in probably 40 states.
Yes.
And, the rules vary.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
They vary.
But it is interesting to me that the rules different in, for example, like it's the military or it's because it's the South. And then I'll tell you one thing, if you've been to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, you can.
Philly's got a great strip club scene.
Oh yeah, it's bananas. So and there's a place we actually talked to Joanna. We're all going to go at some point, but there's a place called Gallagher 2000, which is in Queens.
Sounds
which
awesome.
It's
pretty great.
It's
pretty
for all
great.
the wrong reasons. It's great.
It sounds like a sweet 80s video game.
I saw a guy eating a hamburger and fries in the bathroom once. It's good.
yeah, it's
good.
pretty much that's what it is.
I don't even know if he worked there.
Yeah, I don't think he did. No, he may have lived in the stall. So
I'm up for the adventure.
yeah. So now in being male talent, and before you started doing this, and this is a question that you've probably been asked a million times, and I'm sorry, but
It's
like,
okay, brother.
how were you able to look at your wife performing and working and not have jealousy and not have issues with? Because I know the answer in my head, but how did you negotiate that for yourself? And let me say, you didn't come from this like working at Staples. Like you obviously, you were in a band, you worked at a bartender, you were
Right.
strippers, and so you came to this sort of.
I was already kind of primed
Yeah,
for it.
right. Yeah.
And I've ultimately, you just can't, there's no room for jealousy. You can't be a controlling, jealous person.
Right.
On either end
Right.
in this sort of business
Right.
for it to have any long-term success. And so right off the bat, I've never really been a jealous person, but
Right.
there was definitely a learning curve with, dating like a stripper, for example. It's all a tease, and it's like.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Compared to Joanna giving me a kiss in the morning, going and getting gangbanged by 6
Sure.
dudes,
Fair
and
enough.
then coming home for dinner. Very different. There's levels to this,
Oh, yes.
And
I would
so
imagine, yeah.
For me, I think it was more about, to be honest, like social media, like navigating. Like I would see a picture of her, like with the dude looking all
Right.
googly-eyed, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm not jealous, but like how does this work?
Huh.
How do I feel still like a man, like I'm still respected? And basically, once I got on set more,
Yeah.
even just before I was a performer, and just saw how it worked, I was like, oh, like this is like
Right, it's
like this is just a rad job,
Right,
like
yeah.
cool, and everyone, not everyone, but almost everyone is really fucking cool, and like most of the dudes who fuck my wife are cool, and they're also
Right.
half of them are married themselves or have partners. They're not like they're. I never felt. Not never. I rarely felt disrespected by other male talent, even before I was in the game myself. So it just was a thing where I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, my wife's hot. She's really good at sex. She's a pro, literally
she
a
was,
pro.
She was also that before you met her,
Yeah,
too.
I met her
Right,
as
so it
a
wasn't like she
star,
just
so
took up.
I had to basically. She told me right out the gate after a few dates when we got a little more serious. She's like, bro, don't try to like make me retire. Don't tell me I can't fuck other dudes.
Yeah,
She's
right,
like,
right.
let me just explain something to you right now. Like, this is my job. I love my job. I'm good at it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So if you're gonna be on board this ride, that's the rules.
I think Too Short did a song about
Yeah.
that, right?
Hey, he's right here. Come on. Only don't mention other short famous people. Okay,
Oh,
please.
right.
Enough.
Yes.
All right, Adam, we talked about
Ooh,
this.
I smell a collab.
Don't be a suitcase.
Small Hands X.
Too
Oh
short.
yeah,
All
fucking
right.
hit me
Short
up, Too
Dog.
Short.
Short Dog and Small
It
Hands.
started here.
Oh my
and
God.
it's funny talking about the jealousy and that kind of thing. The irony is, if you would have come, let's say you came on set before you were a talent, and everyone else in the room knows that you're with Joanna. If they could smell any of that jealousy or nervousness or insecurity, then you're done. You can't even.
It's a stinky cologne.
Yeah, it's like, and you can't really climb. It's like being in the friend zone, kind of. You can't really climb out of it. So you do.
mean, most jealousy is born out of personal insecurities.
What do you mean by that? Am I fat?
I don't know. Are you, Brian?
Stop! Shut up.
Well, and so I even before porn had never had a problem getting laid, and I knew I had like a good sized dick, so
Yeah,
I wasn't
Fucking A,
tripping.
you do.
I was just like, I was never feeling threatened or I didn't have those insecurities, so it was a lot easier for me to just be in a room with other people who are all fucking each other, and
Yeah.
And also with Joanna, and and this is what you just said. She loves her job. I mean, look, she's a pioneer. She's a legend. She
Yeah.
loves her job. All those hats fit, right?
Correct.
But also she. Again, I'll say it one more time. She loves doing what she does, which makes it like if you're dating somebody who's in the adult industry, like for example, like that guy, the suitcase pimp guy I mentioned, and Joanna hated doing.
Why would you?
Well, because of the money and people.
I think it's just the financial.
People's
aspects.
brains. I mean, Joanna very easily, after doing this for 20 years, her psychologically could have taken a hard left for some reason. You know what I mean?
But it's just funny though that you bring that up, because it's like sometimes I want to smack these boyfriends around and be like, so you would literally prefer her to hate every minute of this and still do it than to enjoy it? Like,
Right.
how does that make any fucking
Yeah.
sense?
Oh, it's miserable,
Like,
all of
you
it.
know. And
Yeah.
so it's I was always very happy that she enjoyed her
No,
job.
it's the
I'm like,
only way. Like, the way that you two do it, it is the only way it can work. She loves doing what she does. She's very successful doing what she does. You are comfortable with yourself. You're comfortable with what she does. It's
it's vice versa. She's comfortable
Yeah.
with what I do.
Yeah, totally.
we're-
I bet that helps too. That now that you have a career in porn.
I mean, I don't think jealousy has even been a thing for
No,
so
no,
long in
no.
our relationship.
No, but it's alchemy, and it's
Right.
very rare what you two have together. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
great.
and-
I mean, it's something that really. It should be like it is like I mean, you guys are like unicorns. You know what I mean? To a certain extent. I mean,
Are we though?
well, I mean, like in terms of loving each other and being in this insane industry and having respect for each other and letting her do what her do, letting you do, blah 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 blah. Because like, okay, like that girlfriend that I had when she was a dancer in San Diego, she moved to New York and she danced in New York, and she was a beautiful girl. One pussy lip was bigger than the other, which
That's awesome.
it was way bigger. It was like a piece of fried dough, but that's fine. I don't know. We
I'll
made
still
it work.
take it.
I know. Fine.
He likes when
Yeah.
one curtain just
I
a little
love
bit
I
longer
love
than the other.
interesting body things.
All right. I
Go on,
loved it
go on.
too. Jeez, I sound like a weirdo. All right. It was a gorgeous flower. George O'Keeffe. It was beautiful. Orchids. But she came and she worked at Scores, right?
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
which is
Scores, yeah.
which is now Sapphires, but that's not, you know. And where I was a bathroom attendant when I went to NYU. Isn't that something? Yeah. What a roller coaster.
What a ride.
Yeah, what a ride, man. But she would dance, and she'd work on a Friday night, and she'd make like $3,000, $4,000, and she would kill it.
That's
but
dope.
she hated dancing. So she'd make that $3 or $4 grand, and then she wouldn't go back
Right.
to work again until she had $1. You know what I mean? And I would
Right.
say to her, because I don't want to, again, you don't want to sound like a suitcase pimp and be like, hey, baby, you better get in there, make the money while you're young. But like, I would say to her when we would talk about this, I'd be like, look, why don't you want to open a boutique, you want to do X, Y, and Z. If you're doing this, there's a shelf life on this. And
Right.
I'm not saying, I have my own job, my own money, whatever that is. But I would say, if someone's not happy stripping, fucking, frankly, if they're not happy selling fucking copiers, then
Right.
then it's not gonna.
Well, there's a mental threshold. I think the majority of people probably work at a job they don't love. You know, a lot of the 9 to 5. Do you think like
Absolutely.
Right.
Do you think the garbage man fucking loves being a garbage man? Maybe, but I bet he probably had a different
Yes.
idea for
Yeah.
himself at
Sure.
a younger age. And so, to an extent, I think it's just part of life to spend some time working a job you don't love. I've done it plenty. I didn't.
I bet 80%,
you know,
85% of people just do
you
shit
know,
they
like
hate to do just
like-
for money.
and it's just part of surviving in this fucking capitalist society. But I think there's a certain line that goes past that, where if you're doing a job that is causing you so much mental unwellness that
Right.
it is like
Hurts your soul.
degrading
Yeah.
your soul or the relationships around you, maybe it's not worth whatever money it is.
Yeah,
And so
but then you get trapped, and you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
well, the
yeah,
money's
yeah.
nice.
Or,
Money's,
or,
you know,
or even worse,
convenient.
you're not making the money, and you're still having to do the job. So
Right.
anyway, this was like
tricky.
it's like a definition of like a backhanded compliment for you guys, and just how unusual and how rare. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. I'm a big.
I
you
would
know.
like to think that it doesn't have to be so rare.
It doesn't have to be, but by and large, I mean,
Because
again,
the simple thing that we say that can be applied to any partnership of any gender, of any occupation, is we just want each other to win.
yeah.
And if that means her going and doing a triple DP, gangbang and like
Yeah, yeah,
coming home victorious, like, yo, I want you to win.
Yeah,
High
sure.
five.
Right,
Fuck yeah.
sure.
And I would always rather her come home with that huge smile on her face than her going, it didn't quite,
Yeah.
didn't go so
Yeah,
well
right. Yeah.
Gubbit,
Where-
they
yeah.
really fucking
And even then, it's
skewered
fine, but
me.
it's like, oh, come here, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Where's the meth
I
pipe?
want to see
Yeah.
the victory.
Well, and I
face,
feel
you
like
know?
too is more of a school of thought now of whereas I mean the way that people used to be in the 50s and sex was
see?
like it was just a very different thing. I think we I think you can compartmentalize now and just go like it's just your job. It's not like this sacred thing that it's like she laid with another man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree, but I think you've got to be really comfortable with yourself to be married to somebody,
Right.
Even like stripping, modeling, fucking whatever it is. It's like
Put your body out there for the world
Yeah,
in
yeah.
any capacity.
And
you have to understand that
Yeah.
it now belongs to the
Sure.
world. so
Well,
to
and you
speak.
got to be. You start with you got to be secure in your relationship. If
And-
you're. If
yeah,
it's
and it's
weird,
what you
not gonna
just
work.
said, like talking about like the social, like you don't care what she does in terms of shooting content or whatever, but if there's a picture of some dude and like that.
And now I don't give a fuck.
Well, of
at
course
all.
not. But what I mean is like with my wife. Let's just say I don't share the same relationship that you
Right,
do,
right.
which is fine. I'm very happy. That's fine. Kill me. But no. But what I
Brian
mean,
does the triple DP.
yeah, I do. Yes,
Fair.
all day
Yeah.
long. I'm on Craigslist literally every minute
a
of the
true
way.
hero.
He does
Yeah.
it for the
Hey,
love.
you check my grinder, please. Thank
just
you.
does it.
He's a lifestyle LDP
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
He
Uh,
is.
That's a unicorn
Do we,
right there,
sometimes
baby.
sometimes
yeah.
to rejuice it, I check and uncheck bareback. So
Oh,
just to kind of get the algorithm going. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Shake shit up.
Yeah.
Top of the list.
Right. But I mean, with my wife, like I always feel like with her, and it's like if I let's say I fuck somebody, okay, that's something that is in our relationship is a major deal breaker. But what's even more of a deal breaker if I had an emotional
Oh, yeah,
relationship.
completely.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. So
yeah, I think that's a good point though, because there's I don't know why, but for some reason that sort of physical act is just kind of
well, I mean,
I don't know,
because
for
it's
me,
a
it's like
physical act. I mean,
yeah,
I do
because
get, yeah.
it's just a function.
It's because sex is in real time has a start and an end. It's a
Right.
thing that it's like it's you
within
know, like,
30 seconds for me.
but
Yes.
it doesn't.
And for us,
the,
it's
the
real
act,
fast.
The act
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
doesn't continue after I
Right.
leave the room.
Sure.
But this sort of having a relationship does continue. It's always in
Yeah.
the ethers, and there's that line of communication.
Yeah.
Like for example, me and Joanna consider ourselves monogamous. We don't have other partners.
Right.
We're sluts.
Yeah.
We're monogamous, slutty people
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
fuck a lot of people, but we don't date other people.
No.
I don't have a girlfriend.
And you
or
don't
a
do any?
mistress.
Do you do any kind of extracurricular 3-ways?
If
stuff
there's
like that?
our basic rule is if there's a camera to hit record on, everything goes.
Everything goes.
Like
So it's
whatever
really like a loop.
whatever
Oh,
is
nice.
within our own personal comfortable boundaries, obviously, you know.
Gotcha.
But like
You're not in like the lifestyle.
but if something is being not recorded, aka like for funsies,
Yeah.
we do things together. We don't do things separate. So
Okay.
we'll have like a threesome, or we'll have like an orgy with like another fun couple friend of ours or something.
Right,
But
right.
I never will go out and have sex with another girl off camera alone.
It's always
it's
As-
always
as a
recorded.
family
because that's
and
a bit
recorded.
because that's a betrayal of trust.
When it's no disrespect or judgment on
No.
some of my poly friends who have
Right.
multiple partners.
Yeah.
It's just it's what we both
No.
like.
And-
it's what we've agreed to. It's what we feel comfortable
and
with.
that's their lifestyle. They
And
say that they're
so-
polyamorous.
right.
Hey, here's a question: have you guys ever gone to a swing club together?
Just as like visitors, but
Okay.
not
Yeah,
not
spectators.
Not, yeah, I'm not really.
No. It's super corny.
It doesn't appeal to
You
me.
want to fuck next to the
Well,
buffet?
no offense to the no offense to the swinger community, but I work with like the most pro.
Yes.
I work with the best of the best of the
Yeah,
best.
you don't
want to
go-
best.
yeah.
And if I do want to just have sex with someone, I'm gonna text one of my porn star friends, and we're gonna film a quick OnlyFans.
Sure.
And like that, and I just, I know it's gonna be safe. It's gonna be the correct type of hookup situation that is
Yeah.
consensual with like my relationship. It's gonna make money because I'm filming it, and it's
Right.
you know what I mean. Like, why would I go to a swingers
Yeah.
club? No
Plus-
offense.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not fair to like a guy with a dad bod who like has brought his own
Yeah,
towel
I don't
and is
wanna-
walking around the swing, and then here come you roll in with your 14-inch
Right.
cock.
I get
and
a
like,
lot of
you know.
attention in life. I don't need
Yeah.
to be the center
Right.
of attention
Yeah.
at the swingers
Yeah,
club.
it'd be like Aaron Rodgers showing up. and
I'm
like,
good, I'm good.
This is great. Who's that fucking asshole over there? You know, why
He's
is
signing the glossy 8x10s.
why is
in the
every
corner.
single housewife in here in a line to suck that guy's dick?
Yeah.
You know, everyone's over by the buffet. You know, bitching about
it.
it. God, these jalapeno poppers are soggy. Fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and that's another thing. I hate food and sex mix.
All right.
So I can't do the buffet
Yeah,
thing
same.
with the origin. No.
All right, so I got to tell him the story really quick. 'cause
Okay.
We sort of okay. So really quickly, so an old friend of mine. There used to be, and actually it still is open. There's a swing club here in New York called Checkmates. Okay. And it's in Manhattan. It's in Lower Manhattan, and it's been around for a million years. And so my friend was single, and he was with some girl, and she was in the lifestyle, whatever that. She said, "Let's go to Checkmates," right? So we go to like first date. They're at Checkmates, right? And they walk in, and same thing. You check your clothes, you go in, blah blah. Blah. And so they're going around, and these places they have a room where they have a buffet. And so my friend, by the way, I completely agree with what you say. There's no way, I'm eating the food, I'm going to be hungry.
It's just nasty.
Yeah, it's just, I understand if you're there for a long time, you need
I'm not trying to kink shame.
no,
but man.
yeah. And so they're so he's in line apparently for the buffet with the girl, and he's fucking her doggy style, right? And the security guard comes up and he goes, "Hey, buddy," he goes, "not so close to the manicotti." It's like because you're not allowed to fuck by the buffet.
But I would like to know, like, what's the acceptable distance? Like, the security guard's like, it's 2 feet, bro.
Right.
burrito.
Yeah, no hot food. Yeah, he's like, you want? There's a raw bar over there. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
There's ice. There's shrimp. Go crazy. But come on, those are jalapeno poppers. What are you doing? Come on, you gonna come in the Alfredo? Who's gonna eat it?
I would be flaccid in that room.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just love the fact that like there's like one rule that
Yeah.
There's only one rule.
one
in
rule.
the Swingers
Don't
Club.
fuck
Stay
near
away
the
from the stuffed shell.
Yeah, not by the hot buffet, please. Okay, we're not animals here. We're all trying to fucking just have a good time. Like when I had a manager, shout out to Mitch Stein, and he's gay. And when I was in Hollywood, I used to be in commercials, that kind of thing. And there's a famous gay bathhouse, which is right by that W, right on Hollywood Boulevard. And it has a graphic of a kind of a muscular guy with a unicorn horn and like a, not his actual cock, but like a kind of outline
Sounds
of it.
awesome.
Oh, it's very hot, yeah. So I was at a casting meeting across the street, and I call Mitch. He's from L.A. and he's like Mr. Gay, you know, like the king, the queen of West Hollywood, you know.
Love
and
it.
I call Mitch, and I'm like, do you know this? It's got to be a gay bathhouse, and it's on like Euclid or something, blah blah blah. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, great chicken Caesar wrap.
I mean,
but I'll tell you one thing. You want to hear something crazy?
I'm assuming it's not served while you're in the fucking jacuzzi.
Yeah, they probably have separate rooms.
Yeah,
I
I've been
would-
in a few bathhouses in my day.
I would eat food in a gay bathhouse because number one, it's going to be fabulous, and number two, they
Yeah.
are going to have an area. It's going to be well lit. It's going to have
No,
nice.
I think
it's going to be
that's-
clean. Yeah, not some straight gross place with like trays of fucking beef manicotti or whatever. No, but the gays would know how to serve food in a bathhouse. I mean, granted, the person working in the omelet station may have a butt plug in, but I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
They're
it's
not
fine.
cooking with the butt plug. Who
Yeah,
cares?
There's
no.
going to be a
Hey,
sneeze guard at the
By the
very
way,
end.
you sort of have now in terms of the spectrum of sexuality. Have you had many gay experiences?
I've had zero.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
Straight
okay.
guy.
Well, all right. Let's
But
not throw
not
the
afraid of the double anal or the double vag. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not. Like some of my most popular scenes
you've
are
scraped another man.
Threesomes. There's another performer who goes by Owen Gray. He's one of
Yeah.
the most popular guys in the world right now. And me and his threesomes together have kind of become their own special thing.
Yeah.
They have so many views on Pornhub and consistently now, whenever a fan comes up to me and says like my favorite scene is it's that. It's always
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So. Not gay, but I think sexuality definitely has
Oh,
fluidity.
a million
and
percent, yes.
So I
Yeah.
ain't
$20
afraid-
is $20.
I ain't
Yeah.
afraid of a boy, a
Sure.
dude. I
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
afraid
yeah.
of a dude.
And it's what's really funny about that is like every gay guy, friend of mine, whatever, you know, obviously their grand slam home run is to kind of like they're like gay vampires, you know, see a straight guy like you, big cock, handsome, whatever the fuck, probably beautiful body. Get over here, I want to kiss you. But you know, who like
You want to scrape dicks out
yeah,
of these guys?
I want to scrape something. Scrape your dick with my mouth. What? Come on, stop it, Brian. You're the worst.
Ew.
But what I'm trying to say is like, you know, you would be like such the brass ring because you know you're so straight, but you got all the blah blah blah. Like if you talk to any gay guy, they're always like, look, they always want like a straight guy, and they want to be the first person.
It's kind of a unicorn thing, and
Yeah.
I also like. I appreciate male beauty.
Sure.
And like I have a lot of like love for men, and you know, I'm just
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dick doesn't get hard by
No,
men. That's
dude,
it.
yeah.
That's really it. Like,
Yeah, same.
And because I think that like this, there has to be like a new sort of term for like a modern masculinity that isn't, you know, like I'm fucking straight, bro.
Right.
And it's like, well,
that
like
there's no
you know,
compensation in it
like it's
involved.
like, yeah, it's like, okay, buddy, calm
Yeah.
calm
By the way-
down.
by the
Like,
way-
me, like
yeah.
me too. Who cares?
if you have to
Like,
tell me you're straight twice, you're
Yeah.
probably gay. Like you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
like,
can't be a male performer in porn and be like homophobic. Like, you know how many
right.
No.
times you're going to have to be probably closer to the men than the women in a gangbang or
All
in a DP situation. You're going to be grabbing onto your buddy's inner thigh for dear life just for
Sure.
balance and shit. You better
Right.
not be phobic.
All right. So let's talk about the DP.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Well, yeah. And by the way,
It's a great time.
The
love,
art of the DP.
I love to watch those scenes too, and I love
Okay.
I love MFM.
I get worried for that taint. I'm like, oh god, it's
come
gonna
on.
just. I feel
These-
like it's just gonna explode.
These people are pros. They're
yeah,
not
I
gonna,
know. I
you
know. I just,
mean,
I worry.
It's a magical dance that when
I
all the
bet.
partners are locked
like
in,
it's like a
and in
it's
rhythm,
two-piston,
It's a
two-stroke
slide.
engine. Just-
Well,
It's pretty cool.
as it's been described to me, it's always better if the male. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but there's a guy laying on his back. Woman is riding him, facing him. So your cock is in her pussy,
They
and the
call
guy.
that the anchor, the guy underneath.
Yes, he's
Okay,
the
and
anchor.
then
Exactly
another
right.
one just
So-
kinda sneaks
right.
up behind
And that seems to me to be
That's
sort
the
of
most common.
That's the
position.
bunny slope, if you will.
There's a few. There's like 3, maybe 4 ways you can DP, and that's the most common one.
All right. What do you think? So that would I made the analogy of the bunny slope in terms of skiing.
Sure.
What's double diamond? What
Well,
is
the elite position
Go
is
ahead.
called the standing DP, where
Oh.
guy number 1 is standing with the girl.
Okay.
He's in her ass,
Legs and- yeah.
she's facing away.
okay?
You know, it's her back is
Oh,
to him.
Jesus
And then
Christ.
guy number 2, also standing up, comes right up to her face
Sure.
and sticks his dick in her
He goes
pussy.
mish.
And
Okay.
she's basically just getting
Yeah.
bump, 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 while both are
Wow.
standing. That's kind of the
Yeah,
that's the
Wow.
rock star shit.
That
right
is
there.
the gold standard right
Done
there.
a few of those. It's a good time. Yeah.
But
Nice.
I mean, look, you're in good shape. Or what?
you gotta be
it does
strong
sound like I
enough to
do want
carry a-
Does sound like I do want to fuck you. I really
Almost.
don't. Yeah,
It's,
but I mean, like you couldn't do a BBW. You know,
Well, it just depends on the talent, you know.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
if you have 2 very large muscular men, they could probably pick up
Yes.
a lot
Yeah.
more than a guy like me can. So you know, it's all just relative.
yes,
to
of course, absolutely.
strength.
Like I would imagine, what's it called, Nacho Vidal.
Yeah,
I bet,
he's a buff guy.
yeah, I
Sure.
bet he would have no problem. You know,
Nacho Vidal's
Cold
not
Steel?
human.
No,
I've
that-
spent a week in Ibiza with him. We made a bunch of movies a while years ago.
Ooh,
He's-
I'm surprised you didn't get nailed. He seems so passionate.
He's
He would
wild.
just
He is
accidentally fuck you or something.
And I would say he's Spanish, right? I think so, or something.
yeah.
See, those European guys, like they're like, and again, I don't know if it's because we're American and we're maybe puritanical, whatever it is, but like those guys are constantly like they're fucking for them is everywhere. Like you know, like that Nacho Vidal guy. I completely see what you're saying. Like there's a documentary about Rocco Siffredi. Like he's a guy that
yeah,
like
they all come from that same school.
yeah, they're 50 or whatever it is, and they just
Yeah.
it's just for them. It's like
I got stories about that.
give us one, please.
So
Greatest
Nacho
hits.
fucked Joanna's asshole into complete prolapse
Wow.
in Ibiza on a cliff. We were making like a movie, like we're in Spain, we're fucking people, and
Sure.
it was me, Joanna, Nacho, and like some Barcelona talent. We flew a girl from England to be there. There was it was awesome. It was just
Yeah, yeah,
wild,
sounds terrific.
kind of travel movie. And Nacho one day, the day that him and Joanna had a scene, he's like, okay, I rented this speedboat and we're gonna go out like way out to like this rock in the middle of nowhere. Jesus Christ. And
What can happen?
And he's like, it's gonna be awesome, you know, it's gonna look so cool. And we get out there and it did look cool, but it was so rocky and remote that the boat had to be parked like a little ways away,
Yeah,
and
sure.
they had to put the camera in an igloo cooler and float it
God.
over,
Wow.
swim over,
Jesus Christ.
like, and just him and her had to first swim to the rock, which
Yeah.
is a lot,
Oy vey.
and then they're doing the scene, and you know it's kind of far away, so I'm like chilling on the boat, just like hanging out, eating
Sure.
a sandwich, just waiting, and you can see what they're doing, but like they're really far away, and then they come back, and I'm like, how was it? And Joanna starts laughing, and she's like, so and we had a camera. It was just the 2 of them and a camera person, just 3 of them out on the rock.
Camera's rolling.
And she's like, so the camera guy had to literally take my entire insides and shove
Wow,
them
put her-
all
put her-
back
put her
inside
butt
me
back in.
because Nacho fucked my asshole into oblivion on the rock.
Holy
And
shit.
she's like, and it was. She's like, as I was
Yeah, the
swimming
meat-
back,
She's like,
the
honestly,
salt water.
some
she's
of
like,
it's still
she's
out
like,
there.
it stings.
Oh,
really
no.
bad.
God. Well, because most of that meat doesn't see the light of day. You know what I mean?
So,
I could,
you know, shout out to
Wow.
Nacho.
I didn't know you could just kind of
oh
impromptu
yeah, you could put it right back. Oh
up
yeah.
there.
When I was a
thought that
boy, when I was a
it.
Boy
And
Scout.
Joanna's an anal
Sure,
queen.
sure,
So
sure.
She
Yeah.
was, she
I
was
suppose
just like,
she's a
yeah, we're
pro.
good. We just shoved it back in. We're
She's
she
got
was
a,
like,
she keeps a kit in her
she
purse.
was not
probably.
phased at
Like,
all.
you are a lucky man. I swear to God. So many girls would have been like, "We need a helicopter. My asshole is
Yes.
on the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah,
it's laying all
Fly
over the
in
place."
somebody from Germany.
Yeah,
to get
and
this
I bet Nacho.
ass together.
Did they put it back in and then finish the scene, or was it the very end of the scene?
I think that was the end of the scene.
Okay,
and then
good.
just to swim back.
Oh.
Because
So-
she was like, I can't really tell, and so the camera guy had to like push everything back in.
Well, you know what? You got the take. That, you know what I always say? That's
Yeah.
that's show business,
Yeah,
folks.
so-
Sure
That
is.
is show business.
So we had that was a wild trip. A week in Spain with Nacho.
I can only, and plus he is. I mean,
This was like 5 years ago.
okay,
Something like that.
right? And I mean, you know, look, you get recognized wherever you are in your
but
capacity.
Nacho is
He's a
A-list
star.
celebrity.
Yeah,
Sure.
He is
We
some-
had like TMZ waiting on the dock, not for any
Really?
of us, just for him. We had literal whole families want pictures. Again, no one even knew
Wow.
who we
No,
were.
no,
Really,
European.
A few people knew Joanna, but no one
Yeah.
knew who the fuck I was. And they were all like lining up for photos with Nacho. We went out to dinner
Nacho.
with him once, and literally he had a line. It just didn't stop. He is like so
Crazy.
famous.
Yeah, and it's so great because again, that's a European thing. Because like here, if somebody comes up, they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy him." Sorry.
Did
Like,
he
I'm-
do crossover stuff?
He was on like Survivor.
Okay,
of
okay.
Europe.
European.
Right,
European
okay.
Survivor. He
I
was
was
on
gonna
like
say
a
must have-
reality show, but
Okay.
he also. I mean, they just have a different view of sex
Yeah, they're
and
more-
porn there,
right.
so
People-
they're more
more
like
lax.
celebratory of it.
And people also don't know this because he's wearing a helmet, but he's the Mandalorian, which people don't realize that
Really?
he's. Yeah, no, come
like,
on.
wait,
yeah.
what?
Yeah,
No, true
kidding.
story.
Where we
True story.
What is in this cappuccino?
Yeah,
bet-
right.
he bet on that.
Right. It turns out that he's like Boba Fett. You're like, Jesus Christ, this guy's everywhere. So,
good
oh,
times,
yeah,
good
good times. Great oldies.
It was believable almost.
Yeah.
because he's Nacho Vidal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
mean,
like, I wouldn't question that.
yeah,
He's like their Chuck Norris.
yeah, he's
you
just
know?
everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Like that, yeah.
Nacho doesn't sleep. He
Did you
just
know
closes,
Nacho-
closes his eyes and waits.
You know, Nacho Vidal actually killed Osama bin Laden with his
Yeah.
bare hands, choked the life out of him, and then
True story.
pulled his ass out and shoved it back
They
in.
prolapse his anus.
Yeah, exactly. We're all thinking pictures. Like, all right, this is getting stupid. But all right, now let's talk about erectile dysfunction.
Oh yeah, I'm very curious about that too.
Okay.
So, well, you want to
Well,
ask?
I'm just curious if
Go ahead.
there's any if you can say if there's any performance enhancing things happening, or if you're just all
Well,
natural.
Maybe before we get there, when your first scene, okay, when you are gonna go in and have sex, and people think there's fluffers and that kind of thing, and I've never.
There
had
was
that.
no fluffers by the time I got it.
Exactly right. That's like the '90s. You know, that's like
right.
whatever that is. So
Post-fluff
yeah.
era.
So how do you? Okay, let's do that. Let's make this a two-part question. When you first started out, how did you prepare for your first scene, and then how do you prepare for a scene now?
All right. Well, when I first started out, I was primarily just shooting and working with Joanna.
Okay.
So it was
You're
and,
comfortable,
and she
yeah.
would fluff me. So
Okay,
she's
okay.
my girlfriend. So
Sure.
So those early scenes were,
And just so the audience
even
knows,
though it was nerve wracking, I was able to get it done because
Right.
she was willing to
Yeah.
do whatever. It
Let me
took.
explain fluffing for the two people that don't know. Fluffing is when somebody either
They help get you hard
Yeah, they could-
before you're rolling if you need a little help.
Right. And that could be blowing you, jerking you off, putting
Yeah.
your fingers up your ass,
I've
whatever it
seen
is.
everything
yes,
under the
exactly.
sun.
'Cause the idea is someone who's not on camera
Right.
or on camera getting you hard for the scene you're going to shoot.
I mean, typically in my career, if you are working with some of the female talent, especially if you have a friendly repertoire already, a lot will totally be willing to kind of
Sure.
help you a little bit.
Sure,
Yeah, let me
sure.
help you out there.
Right.
But there's obviously a time limit to that. You
Right.
got to be able to get it going within a reasonable amount of time, and also it's you can't expect that. You have to be able to do the job even if that's not on the table, because some talent is not down like that, and that's you have to respect everyone's boundaries and
Sure.
things of that nature. So you if someone's offering to help, it's always like a nice bonus,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
I know how to get myself hard,
Yeah.
But
without
first,
any
okay,
help.
so let's go back to that first scene. Joanna comes over, does whatever she does to you.
Because the first scene, I wasn't. To be perfectly honest,
Sure.
When the time came to my dick out, I wasn't hard. I was.
Yeah,
I was too nervous. I was
So-
like,
I think that'd be
sweaty,
me. I would
and
be nervous.
But because it was the first was with Joanna, she's like, it's
Yeah.
it's fine. She kind of calmed, just chilled me out a little bit. She sucked my dick until it was hard, and then she's like, okay, guys, let's do this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and again, in the spirit of honesty, the first few scenes in my first year of my career, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Sure,
you
of
know,
course.
thank God for editing.
right.
Right. It's
Sometimes
not
I'd get
real
it
time.
hard, and
Yeah.
somehow I don't know. I'd go into a position that was unfamiliar to me,
Sure.
or what a lot of people don't realize is when you start doing professional porn. you're not always fucking on a couch or a comfortable
no,
bed. If
no.
anything, you're not usually. You know, like first time I had to like fuck on a kitchen table, I was like, I don't know how to do
Right.
this. Like and then I'm like, my knees weren't fucking built up enough yet, and I was like, oh man. So you know, like there's a lot that can make your dick fucking go down.
And
Don't I know it?
And also, this may be a little inside baseball, but a big reason why you see performers fucking in common areas is because you're renting a house and you don't shoot in the bedrooms because it's usually someone's home. At least that's been my experience. Is if you rent a house, you rent the common areas, the living room, the kitchen, the stairs. So you end up
Most
shooting.
of the set houses I've been in have both.
Okay.
They might
He's working with Brazzers. They've got like
all right,
they
fair
they
enough.
rent out the whole block.
But it was more dictated by the whatever corny storyline. Really was that's
Right.
what okay
Yeah.
today we're on a kitchen because it's a kitchen thing today. You know she's cooking and you're gonna walk in
Sure.
or whatever.
Yeah, my budgets were so bad. A lot of times I'd shoot, and the family would still be in a bedroom, just upstairs.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
an Airbnb.
I mean
situation.
I've been to set houses where like the master bedroom is off limits because that's where
Right.
like the son who manages the property
Yeah,
lives. But
yeah.
but we were able to use the others. But I
Right.
mean I've shot in biker bars. I've shot in strip clubs.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
shot out
yeah.
in the fucking desert in the dirt.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
I've
Wow.
shot on cliffs in Spain. I mean, it's I can fuck on anything.
When we
Yeah.
when I did that Tara Patrick thing, we shot at this guy's house in Northridge, and the house actually had maybe we even shot there, but this huge grotto with like it's a beautiful thing, but
probably
yeah,
shot
of course. There's probably a million of these houses, and for those people who don't know the geography of Los Angeles, you have the valley which goes from the Ventura Boulevard and it bumps out to the 10. So it's this wide flat thing, and as you go out towards the 10, the homes tend to be in larger plots, and northward. They're bigger homes anyway. So I get to the house, and I had never done anything. I had come from women's wrestling, and I had never really even. I wasn't quite sure even what we were doing, and I didn't even know it was porn until one of the guys came up and said, "If we're doing anal, I should go get some fleets." And I was like, "Well, why don't you just go get what's a fleet?" I knew it was something with an enema or something.
It was enema talking
Yeah.
to you.
So I'm like,
Right.
I'm in the house and I'm walking around, and I noticed that it was kind of like that movie Birdcage. There was all this gay shit everywhere, like gay sculptures and the owner of the home was there, and he was a gay guy. And I went over and I was like, "Listen, I'm sorry to ask you this, but could you like walk around and de-gay the house, please? Like just kind of."
What does that mean?
It means like take the gay statues and like the pride flag.
Because of what
It
you're
was-
shooting lesbian
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, it was
and
just,
it just didn't vibe. The
continuity or
the
whatever.
aesthetic wasn't the right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I get it.
yeah. It was
A lot of
hard, yeah.
portraits of Liberace, or
something like. kind
Okay.
of. Yeah, a Paul Lynn, clay sculpture.
Two women would never fuck in front of this.
I mean, I don't know. I was just,
Okay,
I was
okay,
new
I
to
get
the
it,
whole
I
thing,
get
but and to his credit, he was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, and he's like walking around with like these big metal dildos and stuff, like
Right,
mounted on the
right.
wall like a samurai sword. So, have you ever had to use? This is Adam's question. Have you ever had to use any sort of an enhancing, like a blue chew or a
Right. Of course.
Okay.
Like, come on.
I know, but
and-
what do you,
and-
and better question maybe is what do you prefer?
Well, the thing is, to do this job, especially at the height of when I was filming 20, 25 days a month.
Yeah.
Now I'm older. I got a nice, sweet gig with Brazzers.
Yeah.
I don't have to do too much. Realistically, I'm a human being. Do you think every fucking day out of those 25 days a month I was like maybe a day where I was like a little like under the weather?
Yeah,
maybe I was like
right.
just exhausted.
By the way, I did until right now, and this is very similar to seeing the mall Santa drinking at Applebee's. Okay, how dare you? You just blew it for me. So thank you, folks. We'll be back next week with you are a killer
Christmas
dream,
is
sir.
canceled.
but there's
Yeah.
there's a couple points to this whole conversation because I get asked this all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
First of all, I don't use it every fucking scene
of course not.
because
Yeah.
if that's what you have to do the job, you're probably not geared up to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in this 10 years. That's a long time
Right.
to have.
I feel like I could almost do it if I
consistent-
took a blue
Look,
chew.
I always tell dudes, everybody could probably.
My heart would explode.
Well,
in like
everybody
a week,
could
though.
everybody could probably show
Right.
up on set, take some Viagra, and get their dick hard once. That
Yeah,
doesn't
right,
even mean
right, right,
that
right.
doesn't even mean perform well.
Yeah.
That doesn't even mean do a great job. But you could probably. But
You could,
but
yeah,
could
bare
you,
minimum.
Could you do that consistently and then add in the performing, add in all the other elements? every fucking day of your life, basically.
Sure.
You know, like it's your job.
No, it's a vocation.
I like
So-
the fact that one of the ingredients is strange pussy. That helps.
So
but,
for me,
but probably not. No.
The times that I might pop a Viagra are days where like a gangbang, where like
Sure.
it's so important. And this sounds weird, but
No,
to,
I get
to
it.
have
Yeah.
it's timing. Everybody's dicks have to be hard at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's
the
budget.
positions we're doing
Right.
are not natural. They're insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll pop one for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, to all the guys who think that, ooh, that's like, it's not magic. It's not. It's what I say is it's not going to give you anything you don't.
I've had such a bad.
It's like, you know, like when like auto tune for singers
Yes,
and
yeah.
recording. Auto tune will not make nothing great.
Right.
It'll take a good performance and make
Yeah.
it great.
Yeah.
But you still have to be able on your own without it to deliver something that's, you know,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's
What
not
the-
it's not a magic thing that's like ding 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 and now
Yeah.
now you're up. It's still like you still got to be mentally sort of in the game, and in the
100%.
zone.
And
Yeah.
again, there are lights. There's people walking around. It's a
There are
like
a lot of
it's
variables.
A lot
happening.
going
A lot
on.
going on.
Somebody's de-gaying the
Yeah,
mansion.
exactly. There's somebody with a receipt for fleets that I got to give to Evan Seinfeld. Who pays for this?
So
No, but I've had
it's
such
not
a-
a magical thing,
No.
Right.
But you know, I would be lying if I said I'd never fucking take it.
But-
100%,
and also, by the way,
100%.
there's no shame in it.
No, no.
It's fine. You know what I
No.
mean? Like it's been, and honestly, I'm only asking. I mean, there's a couple of reasons why, but like, you know, not to make this the Brian McCarthy "My Dick Is Fuck" show, but like, I just turned 50. I know I look like I'm 49. Thank you. I get
do.
that. Thanks.
Got
Thank
good
you.
hair.
Yeah, thank you. Right, and and I moisturize. Thank you
Okay.
very much. And most of this
coconut
is,
oil.
Yeah, coconut. Right. I get it from Avito. But my, but like I have, you know, like I've noticed that I don't have this sort of same like, this is called penis health that I used to, but I don't get laid that much. So it's kind of like it almost is a beautiful marriage of I don't get laid, but I don't really need to get laid, and I don't. So my question is like with in terms of these products and that kind of thing. Like I'm always sort of curious because I've never taken anything, but if I took one, I'd just be
probably have a
alone
fun
anyway.
night.
Oh yeah, be alone anyway. I'd
I
just
would
be-
say it's kind of like giving your. I jokingly say it's like giving your dick the day off, but it's really more your mind. I feel like because for me it's less mental acrobatics to like stay super hard.
Right. It allows you to not have a hyper focus,
Right.
slightly on like
Yeah.
on keeping your fucking dick hard.
Yeah.
You know, you can.
and I will say the one thing
But
that
everybody's a little different, so you
Right.
know, it'll
I mean, I've had such a bad day where I took a blue chew and I still had trouble.
right. Well, that's
Yeah.
to
So it is
emphasize
totally
my point.
mental,
It's
yeah.
it's not magically going to
Nope.
just get your dick hard. You still have to be in the game. I
Yeah,
kinda say.
exactly.
It'd be funny. You're like fucking your girlfriend. She's like, "What's happening?" You're like, "We're coming from my mother's funeral. What the fuck is
Right.
wrong with you? My mother died today."
One thing I will say, because I'm also getting older as well. I'm
Sure.
41 now.
Oh,
and-
okay. Oh,
and
wow.
I'm,
We're
you
the
know,
same age.
Talk about looking
Look at that.
great.
I'm still an
Right.
active performer, still bringing the heat, as
Sure,
they,
absolutely.
as they say.
Uh-huh. 41's the new 38.
One thing I've learned in this business, especially over the years, a key to good dick health.
Go ahead, please.
Because this is
Please,
stamina
yeah.
related, is cardio. You
Ah,
have a strong
You know what's
cardio
fucking
system.
crazy?
Like I run or do stairs or some shit
Yeah.
like that, like miles a day, like 5 or 6 days a week. Have your hips, your thighs, your ass, your core. That's where you fuck. That's how you
Right.
fuck.
I heard it
So
also
that
boosts
area,
your
it also
testosterone.
working out your legs and your ass are your biggest muscles is a testosterone
Yeah.
generator. And your heart rate is important for sex.
Right.
So all those things will contribute to good dick health, and more so, especially as you get older, than pump in like your chest and your
Right,
shoulders
then just
and your
weight.
fucking biceps. I mean, you see, I'm not really that muscular of a guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lean and mean, and
Yeah.
that is actually more a key to good dick health.
Okay.
Than popping a chew or fucking anything is be able to like go run for an hour. Then you can fuck for 20 minutes easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
'Cause I started doing that like high intensity
Get your
interval
heart
training,
rate up.
and I realized within like 2 weeks, I'm like, I feel like I'm way hornier.
Yeah, no,
and I
it'll-
looked it up, and they're like,
yeah.
it boosts your testosterone.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why like fighters, soccer players, like they're just fucking raring to go, you know.
Yeah.
So you know,
Just
like
banging everything that's not.
if
nailed
you want
down.
good dick health, work out your your core and your cardio.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was always worried that my incredibly muscular physique is probably
Yeah,
contributing to my flaccid
Yeah, yeah.
penis. So I got to put the plates
less
down.
shoulder days.
Yeah,
and
'cause you're
more
putting
leg
up-
Now,
days.
you know what,
You're
bro?
putting up weight.
I'm making gains, bro. I'm not gonna.
Making
I'm not.
gains, yeah.
Listen, I'm going somewhere with
He's
this.
staying in the gym.
Lean and mean, baby.
I remember
Lean and mean.
long time ago, 20 years ago, my friend, I was at my friend's apartment, and you know what yohimbe is? It is. This is a funny story. So my yohimbe is basically, it's like an herbal dick supplement thing.
okay.
So
Like
when you go to like a,
Extends or
yeah, when you go to a
something.
when you go to a bodega, horny goat weed or
Oh,
something.
like a gas station pill.
Yeah, exactly. But yohimbe is something you get at GNC or something, right?
Okay.
So I'm at my friend's apartment, and he's telling me, he goes, I take like yohimbe, blah, blah. And I go, listen, number one, bullshit. No way does this fucking nonsense. Anything you can buy at GNC, because this is also
like a herb, right? Or
Yeah,
a
like
root?
an herb, and it comes,
Yeah.
and it comes in a bottle with like a fucking flower on it. And and so I'm sitting there, and we're pretty fucked up. And I go, listen, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prove this to you. So he's got a new bottle. I take 30 of these things just to show him. I was crazy. So I take all these things, and I'm going like, and I'm chewing. I'm going, this isn't gonna do any. And I take 30 of these things, and he goes, all right. And I go, see, an hour later, nothing happens. Go. 2 hours later, I
How'd
wake
your
up.
stomach feel though?
Well,
Jesus.
stomach is fine. 2 hours later, I wake up. My cock is purple. I mean, it's purple, and I can see in the
So
head of my
maybe There
penis.
is something to this.
well,
herb.
I have now, dude.
Well, if you take 30,
you
for
could
sure.
see my. You could probably if you eat 30 Tic Tacs, you could see my heart beating in the head of my penis. It was like going boom, boom, boom. I was like, I have to go to the hospital.
That's
So
aggressive.
it was terrifying. So I just
Did
started.
you go to the hospital?
I started jerking off because
Right,
I
right.
figured,
Get it out.
and
On the way to the hospital.
After, in the cab. And by the time I got to like the 8, it was not even like, it was like when the cum was coming out, it was like it was kind of coming out like in a heavy, like it was,
Ow,
dude,
was it painful?
Yes, it was
Oh,
very
fuck.
painful. But
If
I
it
did
also
not want to go to the
dehydrated
hospital. I did not. I was like, because I was afraid they're going to cut my dick off or something. So finally, after about 5 hours,
Oh my
the color
God.
started to go down. So I was like, once I saw the color go down, I was like, all right, I'm probably
You
going
better
to be.
put some respect on that Chinese roots name.
Well, I
Yeah,
think it's
damn.
like I would liken it to melatonin versus like Z-Quil or something. Whereas
It-
like if you take a shitload of melatonin,
Yes.
it'll fuck you up.
I
but
was
you just
an
got to
idiot.
take more.
Yes, I went back to that
Yeah.
bodega. I said, I want my friend's $9 back, but no.
Did you
Oh, I
get
thought
all
he said,
like-
I want more of
Oh
those.
yeah, yeah, right.
yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Did you feel warm like you
was-
do when you
I was-
take like?
Was your heart rate?
Yes, I was
Viagra?
cold. I was hot. I was sweaty. I was a
Yeah.
complete
So
mess.
that's the thing with
yeah.
like the Viagra. It makes you all like flush.
Yeah.
And, like
So okay,
like I'm pink with a rock hard cock.
if we're doing small hands dick tips,
Okay.
when you even
Guys like the Gwyneth Paltrow of dick health.
yeah, you really, yeah, exactly. You have a candle that smells like your.
Goop, and you could just call it goop too.
You really could. Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
it's-
wow. Look
yeah,
at that.
right?
All right.
Yeah, you don't even have to
We'll
change
a
It's
it.
got to be a better name.
Goo. How about goo?
No jizz terms. We should make it a dick term. At least cock. or
Okay,
something
okay.
like that.
Cock, but like with
Yeah.
a K.
Essence of
Yeah.
cock.
Yeah. Something
I'm
shaft.
gonna think about
Um,
it. Ooh, I like shaft.
Yeah, shaft works.
Shaft is
I'm
great.
good with
Should it
shaft.
be just SHFT?
Yeah.
Shaft.
No, yeah, because valves
That's
are
a
Get it in
hipster
the-
way to
We're
spell
gonna
it.
get it in the
Yeah,
Apple
love it.
store.
It's done.
valves are for
Shaft.
fags, man.
Jesus.
All right. When you, even prior to all of this, being in this universe, right? How do you, let's just make it, I hate this word, but make it, you're just a civilian.
Okay.
How do you not come so quickly?
First of all, having a lot of regular sex helps.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
it's like
Yeah,
a muscle.
keep the
you know,
valves.
It keeps the rhythm
Yeah.
go. Because I do notice that sometimes if I'll like nowadays that I don't film like 5 days a week. Usually, like the first scene I do when I fly out to LA, I'm a little like, woo, like,
yeah.
Calm down there,
Tingly.
you know, like remember how to do this.
And is there some sort of like,
So when that happens,
Go ahead.
There's a few tricks I have. If I don't want to cut or like break what I'm doing,
Sure.
I'll take my knuckle and bite.
Okay.
As hard as I need to fucking bite on it.
Think about baseball.
Because it also on camera looks kind of hot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is
You know,
while
well,
you're
yeah, no
doing
cuts,
it.
like
oh,
this.
yeah. Oh, that works
So
perfect
if
with
you've
the
ever been
aesthetic,
watching
too. It's
me
like,
fuck a girl and I'm yelling and growling and then you see me biting my knuckle, it's because I'm
Okay.
trying to tone down the
That's crazy.
You know, I'm getting a little too excited.
now I'm going to watch a scene and go, look, he's going to come, he's
I
going
mean,
to come.
you can totally see it
Right.
in a lot of the scenes.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna come
yeah.
immediately
Oh, yeah.
when I see that
if-
knuckle go.
If
you know.
that's not working, sometimes I'll pull my dick out for a minute and fucking smack my dick.
Whoa.
oh,
Like not so much where
Yeah.
I know my body. I know
No.
the right
Yeah, yeah.
amount.
no.
Okay,
I'll
and-
smake it with newspaper.
And
sometimes.
so it's a it's
Is it
like
peed
a,
on the rug?
like a-
yes,
because what I learned was a quick jolt of a little just disassociation.
Just smack it.
We'll kind of calm it down a little bit. And who taught me that was there was a director that used to when he knew I was getting a little too close.
Yeah.
He would off camera tell the PA, the assistant, to come down, and they would rip hairs off my leg.
Oh my
like,
God.
Wow. Like would never. We're
Wow,
still
that's
rolling. You know,
amazing.
whatever part of my leg was like
Wasn't
off camera.
showing. They would just go.
And you know,
yoink.
I'm like, and I'd be like, and the first time it ever happened, because they didn't tell me they were going to do it, but they could tell I was like,
that's
you know, starting and stopping. And I looked down, and I was like, and then I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, but what if you came immediately? Like now
The
you
first
know-
time that was a risk they were taking.
That's what I'm into.
But no,
right.
so if you give yourself a little jolt of physical pain, that'll buy you
Interesting.
time. It'll buy
Okay.
you time. And if you do it in a cool way,
Well, that's
it,
what
you don't have
these
to,
blend really well
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
guys
you
with the
know.
tattoos. You pull out your cock.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Whack.
yeah.
It'd be funny. They
And-
pull your leg hair. You
and-
go, Stars and Stripes. What are you doing?
you know, and your partner, the person you're fucking, will get excited when it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing that. Like, oh, it's so good that you need
Right.
to calm down, daddy. You know, like, so it's usually like kind of a win-win as long as like
Sure.
it's not happening 1,000 times during the sex.
Right.
But like if you just need a little calm down, those are a few.
I would
cool
accompany it with
ways
like
to
a
do it.
political statement. I'd be like, the election wasn't rigged.
Or
You know?
or the classic move
ahead.
is when in doubt,
There's a
just
classic move.
pull out and start eating
Sure.
her out.
Okay.
Like if you've ever seen
okay.
me doing like again, if you're ever watching a porn and I'm just viciously fucking
Right,
a girl,
right.
and kind of for no reason, I just stop and passionately though drop down.
Yeah, just start.
Not all the time,
chowing
but
about.
50% of the time it's because I need to calm down
Got
a little,
you.
and I'm giving myself a little break. So there's a lot of ways you can still engage and not quote stop the sex, because sex isn't
Yeah.
just this. There's a lot of ways you can still do things where if you need a
Mm-hmm.
minute, you can do it without breaking the stride. You know?
Okay. Nice.
Now, have you ever blown a load in a scene?
Every scene.
What I mean is, no, no.
I mean,
okay. What I mean is,
without
okay,
your
okay.
control.
Like too
yeah.
soon?
Yeah.
A few times, not often, and it's that's stressful. And everyone,
Yeah.
the director, everyone is just like, oh,
Because you got to
man,
kind
you
of
know?
reload and
And I can usually get it back in like 15, 20 minutes.
Right. Just
But then what about the sort of the cum shot? Isn't that
Well,
a
I'll
big
go
part
crush a protein bar and a banana.
Okay.
Chug a bunch of water. Give myself 20 minutes, a cold
of it?
shower.
Get good and hydrated.
And usually by then, also my diet is so consistent for this job that I can usually still have some fucking jizzle.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's fine. It might not be the greatest shot of all time, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what's what we call a serviceable cum shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, there's in the 1,500 movies I've shot, I've probably came too soon like 10 times.
All right. all right.
Okay.
That's good numbers. All right.
Yeah.
I'll
And,
put
and
those
again,
up.
no, it's stressful. It's especially if
Yeah.
as I got more professional or just more scenes under my belt, I learned how to go into damage control and what to do. But like I remember the first time it happened, and it was actually one of my
Go ahead.
first big scenes for Brazzers, a huge crew. It was with Abigail Mack, who was very
Okay.
famous.
All right.
And I was just like, I wanted to crawl in a hole and die. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god! I was like, it was like
All
only-
these people have
I
been
was, it was
riding
like,
on
and
your
it was like
ejaculate.
it was like 10 minutes in, so it wasn't even close to the end. They were like, we need like 20 more minutes of footage, bro. And I was just like,
Right.
like kill me, oh my, and I was
Could
like,
they, from a production standpoint, could you go, hey, I'm close. I can't hold this off. I can't smack my dick any more times. The backs of my calves are hairless.
Occasionally they'll film out of order. Yeah.
Okay,
so they'll
because
film the cum shot no matter what. The cameras are rolling.
right.
And
So you get a
then-
nice spectacular cum shot,
And then they just might in editing place that more at the end.
right.
Sure.
Because I'm thinking I could.
But they
from
would
a
always
production
prefer
standpoint.
you to be able to come again, so it's just seamless. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But yeah, I remember that first time. I was just like, "Oh boy, I gotta get it together," you know.
Wow.
Well, it's lucky for me.
And I
'cause
did, and I have
Sure.
a career. Still.
Sure. Yeah.
lucky for you because my wife's Armenian, so when I'm gonna come quickly, I'm gonna pull her leg hair out. So I'll just get a big, if I get a hand, just a
Body
big
hair
handful
jokes.
of butt,
Yeah.
body hair jokes.
Whatever we got to do.
You know
keep this going.
what the terrible thing about premature ejaculation is that it is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning if you're having sex and you're worried you're going to come too quickly, then you're going to come too quickly. You
It's
don't
a lot
even,
of mental
Yeah,
gymnastics.
100%.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. It really can get into it really can get into your head. So
Yeah.
like that the girl for the stripper from San Diego, like she would that one big pussy lip like made her pussy really tight. And shout out to Kim, but she would always suck at me. Like
Made it
I would,
tighter, huh?
she could tell if I'm coming too quickly, and she would go, "Don't come yet." And I'm like, "Oh well,
Yeah,
now
as
I'm
soon as you,
it's-
you're like, you may as well just fucking.
yeah, I'm the kiss of I'm the kiss of death here now.
Or sometimes, for me, the most not difficult. It's not the right word, but like sometimes, like the female talent that I like, I just love working with. It's almost like a harder day at work because I know you're
yeah.
gonna be like too primed the whole time,
Yes.
buddy.
I feel like we should
So
talk
it's
about-
like, sometimes it's almost like harder to film a scene with someone that
Yes.
I'm really, really, really into.
Right, right.
And so it's just it's funny though. I mean,
Right, because you're more excited.
yeah.
Now this may be kind of there's an obvious answer to this question, but maybe your take on it. What if you are working with somebody and you have no chemistry with them? Like you don't like
It happens occasionally. It's not often, but that's where being a professional
Right,
comes
exactly.
in,
Yeah.
Right,
in
right.
any
That
weather.
separates the men
You
from the
know,
boys, I feel like, right there.
Anybody, again, like once, maybe twice, Papa Blue Chew, can
Yeah.
probably have sex in front of a camera with someone that they think is crazy hot and who's giving them a good vibe.
right.
Yeah.
And again, that's maybe once or twice.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Laboratory conditions.
But let's say it's day number 20 and you walk into the room and the talent is just not vibing with you, like for whatever reason.
Don't
And
wanna
maybe
be there.
and maybe you're not physically attracted to them either.
Yeah.
And maybe it's kitchen counter day.
Yeah.
And
kitchen
maybe
counter day.
and
Oh,
maybe it's
no.
anal. And
Resting
maybe it's,
bitch face, kitchen island.
and that's when you really got to have it up here. It's Jedi.
Yeah.
It's Jedi mind trick time.
Right,
And
right.
for me, and I'm being very honest. I
Please.
would say 90% of the people I've worked with, that's never an issue. We have a great chemistry, great connection. I'm attracted to almost everybody.
Yeah.
Literally, like I'm.
You can find something.
I'm into
He's
it.
versatile.
And then in the 10% where either personalities don't click or maybe it's just physically not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I just find something.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, something.
people are fascinating and interesting, and
Yeah.
there's almost always physically and non-physically something
Something.
I can hone in on and kind of in my Jedi brain blow up in my mind where now I'm like horny now, like you know, like I'll just focus on something small and make it the thing that I focus on mentally,
Right.
and that allows me then to do my thing.
And you also came in to this, you did, for lack of a better term, you did sort of leapfrog into this industry. You know what I mean? Like you didn't, I wouldn't even know how to, if somebody came up to me and said, I want to be male talent, and I'd be like, well, I don't know, like picture a fucking LA
make
director
you
or
a
whatever. And,
star.
yeah.
I mean, what I had to do though, once I started working outside of Joanna, was what every new male talent had to do. I was in all the blow bangs, 20 guys, one girl,
Okay.
you get a blowjob for 30 seconds while she goes around the room, because those are a good test of if you can do porn as male talent, because you have to have your dick hard.
You got to be ready for that 30 seconds.
Yeah, totally.
And you also have, it's almost all men in the
Yeah.
room with their
A
dicks
lot of them
out.
are wearing gorilla masks.
A lot,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
if you can do those kinds of
Hopefully,
yeah.
scenes where you're getting almost no engagement with the female
Right.
talent, you're barely having sex, and you have to keep your dick hard in a room with a bunch of other naked dudes,
Yeah.
then you could probably hang, and that's a good training
Or as
ground.
I call it.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
that's how
Okay.
that's how I would get hired. And a lot of the newer males, kind of, it's like the proving grounds.
Sure.
And if you're kind of the rock star in the if there's 20 guys in a room and you're one of the 3 that were crushing it, then the director I would get a call from the director the next month, and they'd book me for like a boy-girl scene because they knew I could hang.
Yeah, if you can do that, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
Hey, why don't we say
gonna
hi
go-
to people, and then are you good to hang for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
are you
we're gonna
cool?
go.
Okay,
We're
great.
just gonna go behind the beat. It's
you're-
about
yeah,
2.
we're chilling.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hi to Ted. Hi to Matthew.
What's up, Ted? Matthew?
Somebody asked.
Are we live? Is this all live?
This
Oh,
this
yeah.
part's
Live the
live,
whole
and then we're
time.
gonna go behind the beaded curtain,
Cool.
and that'll just be taped. That's for
All right.
Patreon.
Yeah.
It'll be on NPR in about a month. So
Okay.
Keith says if they are unpaid, is it an amateur lapse?
If who's unpaid?
It's he's making a joke about prolapse.
you
I
son
thought
of
that
a
was
bitch.
I thought that was funny.
You
I like that.
motherfucker.
Hey, our pal Marcella Alonso is watching. Hi,
Oh, hi,
Marcella.
gorgeous. How you doing, baby? What's
What
up?
up? What up?
She's a female talent.
Hello.
She is. She sure is. Our boy Ted. Alrighty, we're gonna go behind. Do we want to?
Let's take a minute.
Plug your podcast.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Or anything you want to plug quick before we go behind.
We
you.
go now to the Patreon.
Got you.
Yeah.
So everyone should follow me and my wife Joanna Angel's pretty new podcast called Just the Tips. You can find it on all podcast platforms. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at Just the Tips XO. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at @thesmallhands_. You can also find my good shit on onlyfans.com/smallhands. And you can search me on Pornhub. There's like 380 million views.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. Yeah, you're
There's
not
a lot of places you can find me.
You'll forgive the pun. You're not hard to find.
No.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Sure ain't.
And by the way, everybody, listen. Get on the Patreon. Stop it. Stop messing around. If you're what?
Patreon.com/Brian McCarthy.
Yeah, it's on the scroll on the feed, and then like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're not even going to do the Patreon, at least do that part. I hate saying this kind of shit, but you know how it is, and
It's
there
the
you
world
go.
we live in, Brian.
It is
Because it's gonna get real scintillating.
Oh
in
yeah,
just
watch
a second.
out. Before we go, shirts are coming off.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, bye.